Some of you are like, Tom, why are you eating pizza? Why are you breaking your diet? I have noticed my face has gotten smaller. So I've lost weight, but my stomach is still out there. But the reason why I get pizza is because, I be super hungry and I don't feel like cooking, and I don't really cook a lot of different stuff. I want to taste something different. Plus, I want it to fill me up because I be, moving around refrigerators on my own. And this week I had a lady who she bought a fridge from me, right? And she had a big old double door in there, and she bought a double door. So I had to get her double door out, her back door. Hurt my finger doing it. Then I had to put the one I had in there. And of course, she paid me to get rid of the one she had. So I had to load that up, and it ended up falling. It's just a lot of work. But then she's like, yo, this one don't work, the one I brought her. I go over there 2 days ago, and the whole heater coil is black. So I had to change that. She's like, you could just fix it. But I was like, something's not right here. I was telling her, I said, I'm going to test your sockets. And her sockets are 124, which was fine. But I think when she turns on her, because I ran her switches, right? I was like, okay, where does these switches go to? How's it set up? But she doesn't have it downstairs. It's all one floor. And I was like, the way your switches, hey, what's going on, Star? And her laundry room is right behind her kitchen. It actually looks almost like one unit. So I turned, off her, lights and stuff just to see what switches ran to what and what kitchen lights and power went off. And her laundry room light stayed on, but the appliances turned off. Which tells me when you have the microwave going, the stove going, the refrigerator going, plus whatever else is hooked up to this one fuse, and you run your washer and dryer, that's just too much power. That tells me that there's a power surge. Plus, when I opened the fridge and when I looked and saw that there was frost in the back, I was like, you blew this heater coil, this heating element. I was like, when I take this off, there's a metal thing down there, it heats up. I think you went ahead and blown that. And so she's like, you could either fix it or bring another one. So I bring another one over to her. I took that one to my house, took the heater coil out. It was all black. Heater coils are not supposed to look like that. This is telling me that there's power surges going through there, and that's what happened, and it blew that whole thing in 4 days. So the other one I bring over there, she's like, nah, this one don't work either. And I'm just like, there's nothing I can do for you because I don't want her to keep blowing up my refrigerators, right? She's like, my dad's going to buy me one. I told her, I said, listen, when your dad buys you one, let me know if it goes out also. I said, because I got a feeling that it will. She said, I'll let you know. I think my pizza's done. She's like, I'll let you know. Now, she's gone for the weekend. But, I got tired from moving all those refrigerators in and out by myself. It's really a two-man job, but I was doing it on my own. So I had to give her her money back, which I didn't mind. And I think her house is broken. I told her, when you get your refrigerator and you plug it in, when you turn on your microwave, if the light's dim, I said, then that's where your problem is. You turn our microwave on while you have the washer and dryer and stove and all that instant, already plugged in. I was like, it's going to be, you got to go around. I was like, it's going to be, you're blowing that fuse. And that's what I think is happening. She's not she's not even blowing a fuse. What she's doing is, and she's not tripping the breaker, so she doesn't have to turn it off and on, and unplug stuff. What's happening is the electricity is a continuous pulse. But when it comes to refrigerators turn off and on their own. So they need to cool, and then they stop cooling, and then it gets warm. Then the thermostat says cool again. It kicks in and cools again. Well, when it kicks in to get that power, that's a lot of power that has to go to a refrigerator. It's not a casual thing. It at least has to have 120 volts. That's jolting it. So when it needs all that power, and then you send 124 through it, but actually you're sending more through it because you're probably sending twice as much actually through it, and that's what pops that coil. The coil is just a little metal thing inside plastic. That's all it is. So you can send too much power through it and snap it just like that. My eyes are messing up on me, so I can't read what you said. But hello to you. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying because I can't read it. But I guess I'm gonna talk and drive. Yeah, I ain't got my glasses with me. But let's see if I can. Nice title. Chick. Something. Well, the world is fake. But I didn't really want to talk about the refrigerator stuff, but I want to talk about how fake the world is. But, it was just on my mind. But, somebody had got on me because, I eat pizza, and they were like, you broke your diet. And I'm like, this is why I eat pizza, because I need to have a big dinner, off pretty often, or I'll get weak and tired, and I won't want to do anything. And sometimes I'm so tired, especially after moving the fridges back and forth. Mind you, I don't only have to move her fridge back and forth, the one I was moving. I have to load it and unload it. And when you're doing it by yourself, this is over 200 pounds that you have to move by yourself. You have to move it up and downstairs, not like a whole flight, even though I could do that too. But, a couple stairs, and you have to load it on the dolly and move it. And I was moving it through grass, and that's what really ate up all my energy. The last time I just backed the truck up to where the steps were almost, but moving it through grass, oh my God, it is such a workout. But so I went rounds with this lady's refrigerator, but when I got over there and was explaining stuff to her, I said, no sense in me bringing another one over there. You went through 2 of my refrigerators plus the one you had. She said, I went through 4 refrigerators. And then I told her, I said, it's a good chance that this whole block is messed up. Like her neighbor probably has a refrigerator problem too, because I've seen this before. It says that she's getting enough power, but there's a good chance that whoever wired this house didn't, they got power, they got the lights on, everything's cool. But the biggest problem is when you get a newer fridge, computer system is very sensitive. It's not like the regular old ones that can take a licking and keep ticking. A newer fridge has all these adjustments that it's doing because a computer is reading what's in and outside of your house. This is why you have a newer fridge and you put it in the garage, that refrigerator might not act right. Why? Because the garage, the weather is constantly changing. When you open the garage, it gets cooler. When you close the garage, it gets hotter. That's constantly changing. So that refrigerator is reading what's going on, and trust me, and it has more than, and newer ones have more than one thermostat, and some of them don't even have thermostats. They have what's called a thermistor, and they'll have like 2 or 3 of them in them. So you'll have like 2 of them in the freezer and one of them in the in the top, and both of those things are being read, and that computer is constantly reading your atmosphere. So that's why when people say they have a problem with their fridge, I'm like, well, where's it at? If they tell me it's in the garage, I said take it in the house, because if you take it in the house, it's going to be a stable temperature, and leave it there for a couple days, and sometimes that fixes the problems. They're like, okay, it's freezing, and it's cooling, and like yeah, because you had it outside pretty much, and it didn't know what to do, because every time you open that garage, the weather changed on it, and it was cooling, and it was sending out energy through it, and it didn't know exactly what was what. Refrigerators are not made for that. And but anyway, so that's why I'm tired, and that's why I have to get a pizza. I think my pizza's ready. You guys gonna roll with me? Put you guys up here, but hold on a second. So yeah. Well, a lot of people don't know basic refrigerator stuff because they don't work on refrigerators. But ever since I started selling them, you get some that come back to you. And then you start running into common problems, and it's just like, wow, why is this refrigerator not working? And some people will go, well, my fridge went out, and then I'll sell them one. And when I sell them a refrigerator, that fridge go out. And I'm like, I already tested mine. Something's wrong here.
Hi, how are you?
Hi,
Tony?
yes. You're the only person I know that calls me Tony. Yeah.
Here you go, right here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. Have a nice
You too. Pizza lady. So, at any rate, I might drink some water tonight because I've had probably what I would consider enough sugar. I had some lemonade. Oh, you're asking me a question. What? Oh, pepperoni and pineapple. That's what I eat. People are like, oh, you shouldn't eat. I'm like, look, I don't know what to tell you. That's what I eat. I need to scarf it down because I need the energy. Another thing is being that, I'm a hustler. Sometimes I have my off days. Heck, sometimes I'll have an off month. And then sometimes people will order stuff from me like back to back to back to back to back. So what happened last month is I had a dry month. Nobody ordered anything from me. Couldn't sell anything. As soon as the month turned over, I sold like 5 items. Like within just a week. Like I hit my quota so quick. And I was like, okay. And then after that, I needed to replace those items. So like yesterday, I had to drive 40 minutes out to this guy's house to get this fridge before I went to her house. And if I did, and I was gonna go to her house first because whenever there's a problem, I like to come to the house and take care of it. But I had to go. I was like, I gotta go get this fridge because the way it works is if you lose money on a deal, you sell somebody something and it comes back, you gotta give them their money back. You have to, because it's all about keeping a 5-star rating. If you don't have a 5-star rating, people will stop buying from you. So you don't play with that. Plus, you have the money because you don't get people's money and then go spend it. You don't do that because there's a 15-day warranty that I give people. So you hold on to their money because there's a chance that anything can happen and it might not be your fault. It just might not be your fault. And in this case, there was nothing I could do. It wasn't my fault. So anyway, I had to take care of her, but I was like, I'm going to come over there. When I went over there the second time, I went after I drove 40 minutes and got another refrigerator off of the guy. And that refrigerator is going to cover once I sell it, and I know I'm going to sell it because people are asking me about it already. Once I sell it at a decent price, that's going to make up the money I just lost. So that's how that goes. If you sell something and you have to give it back, you have to either fix that refrigerator or you're going to toss it. If you toss it, you're going to get maybe $30 for it. You bought it for $100 $150. So you're looking at a $70 to $130 loss. You know what I'm saying? So if you bought it for $100, of course it's a $70 loss. You take it to the junkyard, you're gonna get maybe $30 for it. At least you get something. You can sell it online for $100, tell people what's wrong with it, but it's just gonna be sitting. And it's like, how long do I want this to sit in my garage? Another thing is I lost my supplier. They kept selling me refrigerators that didn't work, and then they stopped responding to my texts. And I was like, okay, that's the way you guys want to do business, that's fine. So I lost one of my suppliers, my main one that was getting me refrigerators, but I'm not sweating it because there's always a refrigerator somewhere. It just depends on the deal that you want to make with the person. So you can find a refrigerator, to replace the one you had, but you might have to pay $250 for it. Well, if you do, you can't sell it for $300 because once you factor in your gas plus your storage fee, you're way into $350 easy. So you try to get them down to at least $200, and if you're lucky, you can get one for $150. The good thing about it is when you go to the person's house to get the refrigerator, you always tell them to keep the refrigerator on. So it's a working refrigerator, right? That way, as soon as you get it, you don't even have to pull out of their garage or wherever they have it. You take pictures of it on and everything, and as soon as you get to your side of town, you post it, just boom, 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 post it. And once you post it for 3 times as much as you bought it for, or at least 2 times. So if you bought a fridge for $150, you post it for $350, $550. What's going to happen is the people who look at it are going to go, what year is it? Sometimes people ask you that. You say, I don't know. That person's uninterested after that. But it's okay. Sometimes you know the year, sometimes you don't. They'll say, does the ice work on it? Ice and water. You go, you tell them yes if you know it, but if you don't know it, you say, I don't know. If you're buying it from somebody, they'll tell you that the ice works. The ice and water works, we just wanted a newer fridge. Boom. They sell it to you for $150. Boom. You're like, all right. You take it home. You post it for $550. Somebody's gonna get on there. They're gonna offer you $350. You tell them, no, thank you. Be very polite. Say no, thank you. Thanks for stopping by. They'll want to come back. They'll come back and make you another offer. $400 is the best I can do. Then they'll say something stupid like, my wife said I can only offer you $400. If you really want the $400 and you just want to get rid of it, especially if you need the space, you take the $400. That's still a good deal. It's a great deal. You bought it for $150. You got $400 out of it. You can't complain about that. However, if it's a stainless steel side by side, and you're not strapped for cash and you're not in a big hurry, you tell them no. You're like, nah, man, I want a cranberry juice so bad, but it's so much sugar. I'm trying to watch my sugar, but I want one so bad. I'm going to get one. Whenever I'm craving something like that, I go get it. It's a lot of sugar though, and I had a lot of sugar today, so my sugar content, I'm trying to lower it. That cranberry juice got so much sugar in it. I can't drink them like I used to. I used to scoff them down. About 3 or 4 of them a day. I didn't know it had so much sugar in it. Anyways, so if you're not in a hurry and you don't need the money right away and you don't have a lot of inventory coming in and you're pretty chill, you say, nah, $450. They're gonna think about it and they're gonna say something like, I'll get back to you. Boom. They'll say, does it come with delivery? You'll say, where do you live? If they say something that's right down the street from you, it's not going to cost you much to deliver it. you'll say, I'll put it at your front door, like I won't bring it in. They're going to want you to bring it in. They're going to say, okay, but they're going to want you to bring it in. But it's a lot of work to bring a refrigerator into a house. So, you know they're going to want you to bring it in, so you say, how many stairs are there? You're going to ask, how many stairs are there? They're going to say, it's 2 stairs. You know, they might even send you a picture of the front, the front of the house. So you're just like, there's 2 stairs. Then you ask if there's somebody going to be there to help you. If they say yeah, and they're right down the street, I like to hit them with like 30, 40 bucks. I'll do it, but it'll be $30, for gas. It's a good chance they're going to go ahead and take the deal, because what they did was they looked at the original price, which was $550, and they're trying their best not to pay $550 because they think the value of the refrigerator is $550. So they're going to try to get a deal. Even if it's 20 bucks, I just got a deal. And it's just like, no, you didn't. This refrigerator is valued by the market. You got a deal. You didn't get ripped off, but you. Yeah, let me get 2 cranberries, man. Okay, so let me explain. You got a deal, but you're thinking the value of this refrigerator is $550. Now, the value of the refrigerator is what I say it is. And what I say it is...
Anything else?
That's it. Oh, bag of Doritos.
Bag of Doritos?
Yeah. And the reason why I mark it like that is according to what everybody else is selling them at. So I look at the top of the value, and then I look at the bottom of the value and go, people are selling these, if they just want to get rid of it, $150. If they want to make some money off of it, $300. If they really want to get you, they really, really want to get you $750. So what I do is I sit it right in the middle, somewhere around there, like the high middle, and I just, negotiate from there. Yeah. So I negotiate from there, right? I could have said it was worth.
Here you go, boss.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Yeah, my Saturday is right, man. Now, I could have said that the refrigerator is worth $750. There's a problem with that. If it has no marks on it, no dings, it runs perfectly, the water runs, everything. It has no rust marks on it, no nothing. It might be. If it's 10 years old, nah, it's not worth, well, if it's almost subjective, depends on what you use it for. It all depends, but if it's, okay, so if it's 10 years old and it's a refrigerator, that's not going to fly. It's going to take a while for somebody to buy it. But if it's 10 years old and it's a GE, it's going to sell. You could sell a 10-year-old GE for $700 side by side. But it's going to sit for a while. It's going to sit for a while. People are going to go, do I really want it? And usually somebody who will buy it, that buys it, will buy it. They might buy it for replacement. And then you have people who buy it for flips, house that they're redoing. But the thing about the people who buy it for flips is they're cheap. Landlords are cheap. So when you're dealing with a landlord, they're gonna try to they're gonna try to whittle you down as much as possible, but they already have what's in their head what they need. And when they see what they need, they're like, I know I need it, and I know I'm gonna get my money back. I have to make this place look good. If this place doesn't look good, then I'm not gonna sell it. This refrigerator looks good, works good. This guy is giving me a warranty. This guy has a 5-star rating. He has a 5-star rating. I'm gonna go ahead and buy from this guy. That actually just happened to me a couple days ago too. I sold a 3-door fridge to people who were flipping a house, and I didn't charge as much as I could have because it was a 3-door. Very nice. I could have got them for $750, but I didn't. Nonetheless, yeah. So in the world of flipping, refrigerators, there's just a lot goes to it, but it can wear you out. And when it does, and you're single, you're just like, I think I need to get, some energy food, because you don't even feel like cooking. You know what I'm saying? It's the one time you wish you had, a roommate or a wife or, a husband, or in some of you women's cases and stuff like that, but I don't have none of that. So, but yeah, so, the flip game is really something. Of course, you can take that and also incorporate that into other things that you might be looking at flipping. But you got to understand, when it comes to refrigerators, if you can stay online and watch and just, you got other things going on, but if you can get up every day, early in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, when you wake up just, for a minute or two, and you go on Facebook marketing and you look, and then you see a fridge pops up and you read the description and you see it says it works, they just want to get rid of it because they bought a new one. Boom, you hit, is this available? Right? I don't care, 4 in the morning, boom. Is this available? You're still sleepy. What's going to happen is they're going to see yours first. And if they hit you back, if they hit you back, yes, it's available. You say, when can I come get it? Mine just 4 o'clock in the morning. And they're going to set a time, and now you're first in line. So the one I just bought a white one, 3-door. I already know that those 3 doors flip for $500. I bought it for $125. I already know I'm gonna get rid of it for north of $400. I already know it. Because I sell them all the time. People love 3 doors, and you would think the stainless steels are the ones that cost the most. Stainless steel refrigerators do not cost the most. It's the white ones that do. It's because the finished paint on it. So once again, if you have a newer stainless steel and you have an older white one, people might go ahead and buy the older white fridge simply because it costs more at the store. Another thing is, you can walk into Lowe's or Home Depot or in any of those, and you can look at the prices of the refrigerators. You can just look at them. And you can also set your price according to what you see. So I'll put to you like this. One time the guys used to bring refrigerators. They brought me a 4-door refrigerator. When I looked at that 4-door refrigerator, I was like, okay. They charged me $200 for it, right? I said, okay. They don't even do this. When I looked at it, I looked in it, I seen that it was a working refrigerator. Somebody just wanted the new one. Then I looked for the year. The year was 2019. I was like, it wasn't even a year old. This was last year. It was maybe a year or something old. I posted that fridge for I posted it for $1,150. I sold that fridge the next day for $1,000. Just like that. Because I knew the market value. I could have sold it for $1,600. It was a 2019. I could have sold that fridge for well above that. Because if you go into Lowe's and you go into Home Depot and you look how much one of those newer model fridges are, you go in the new model, it's $2,700. you know, up to 3,000. It depends on what it is. If it's a family hub, that family hub is $3,500. But the one that I had was a 4-door. That 4-door is, you know, $2,700 to $2,900. I could have easily sold it for 17, something like that. I ain't even bothered because I wanted to get rid of it. Because those guys kept bringing me fridges, bringing them, selling to me. So yeah, but so yeah, I know the title doesn't match what I'm talking about, but you know, just my exhaustion is from moving, you know, big ass refrigerators and testing them. Here's one right here. It's on the back of my other truck. See it? That's the one that I got back out of her house. That's the last one I put in her house and I got it out. That big old boy right there. Good thing about that one is it doesn't have any handles, so I was able to slide it in and out. But bad thing about it is I think she went ahead and you know, she fried the heating element to it, so now whenever you turn it on, it only cools but so much. You know, because if it doesn't have that heating element going, it's just not going to work right. But I don't even think I'm going to fix it because I'm not even sure exactly what all went wrong with it. And I'm gonna sell it for $150. I bought it for $150. I'm gonna sell it for $150. Somebody could use it as a good, you know, second fridge. Put it in their garage because it'll cool your water, you know, but it won't freeze it. So, you know, you just get your money back. Things along that line. That's what you got to do, you guys. You know what I'm saying? And you can flip a lot of stuff like this. You know, people flip baseball cards. But the problem with that is, you know, I've noticed a lot of people are getting scammed. And you can get scammed with refrigerators too. You buy a refrigerator and you go to a person's house, you think that they're honest. They got the refrigerator plugged in, but it's not exactly, you know. I'll put it to you like this. I bought a refrigerator 3 days ago on the west side of town, and I already knew something was up. When he told me where he lived, I was like, oh. Last time I got into a fight was over there. Two guys, you know, one guy punched me in the face and the other guy pulled out a knife. And I was happy about getting punched in the face, but I wasn't too thrilled about the knife. The punch in the face I could handle. I was like, shoot. I ain't had a woman in years. You know, I'm backed up. I'm about to beat the snot out of one of y'all. I'm about to, and they knew it too. They knew it. They drew that knife on me because they knew that I was gonna. Once they hit me in the face and I didn't move, and they was like, "Oh hell no." I was like, I'm about to beat some Christianity into y'all right here and now. I backed up into the street and was like, yeah, let's get it. Yeah, let's go. You know, what's up? You know, 2-on-1. That's boy. I was happy about the 2-on-1. I was like, forget the refrigerator and the $100 I lost. Let's go 2-on-1. Let's get it. Who hit me? Come on. You know, but. Anyway, so I bought a refrigerator off this guy, and the refrigerator was infested. And I was like, I don't want it. They didn't want to give my money back. It turned into a whole brouhaha. Then when I got it over here, I plugged it in, and the refrigerator didn't work. I got scammed, in other words. These guys were scammers. Nonetheless, you know, I didn't know that you could take that same refrigerator to the junkyard and get at least, $30 out of it because the price of metal is up. Refrigerators, side-by-sides like the one I just showed you, those side-by-sides are 200 pounds. Yeah, that's why you gotta be careful when you move them around. They're 200 pounds. 200 plus. So you get about $25, $30 out of it. But me and my goofy self just threw it away and didn't take it to the junkyard. So I lost money, and then I lost money that I didn't know about. Then when I started taking stuff to the junkyard, I found out about it. And the way I got into these refrigerators, and I've told the story before, is because I was broke. I even put it on YouTube. I said I'm broke. I had no money. I had income, but I had no money. And I was hungry. And I don't like being hungry. And my food was low, but my rent was paid, all my bills was paid, but I was like, I got to do something. So I looked outside, and people move in and out of these places all the time. And people was throwing stuff in the garbage, so I'd go out there and look in the garbage and see what they, like these people threw away a stationary bike. I went out there, I got that damn stationary bike. I seen that it worked. I took it in the house, posted it on Facebook. I sold it for $60 the next day. I was like, yeah, there you go. People would people would throw out TVs. I don't know if it worked or not, you know. I try to flip anything, but nonetheless, when the whole remodeling thing popped off, they would put out their refrigerators, stoves, dishwashers, and I would be like, yo, they still work, don't they? And they'd be like, yeah. I said, can I have these? They're like, go ahead. So that's how my business started. Then I started following these guys around, and they would tell me, hey, there's a refrigerator over here. Well, you know, there are other people who do what I do, but they're junkers. They don't take them and fix them up and then sell them. What I do is I take these little white apartment size refrigerators, and I would flip them for $80. And mind you, I ain't had no money, but the refrigerators were free. The stoves and the dishwashers, they were all free, and I knew that everything worked. So I would post a refrigerator for $80. Boom, I got my first $80 off of it. I was like, yeah, I can eat now. And I said, well, wait a minute, this a whole business that just jumped off. I would take the stove, I flipped the stove for gas stoves. Gas stoves cost more than electric stoves. I would take the stove, old stove, I'll flip them for either to $50 to $75. Boom. Flip the gas stove, was like, okay, boom. Take the dishwasher, flip it for $75. Mind you, it's all free, though. This is all profit. Only thing I had to do was stay on these guys and wherever they would go and make sure I showed up. Once I did that, I ran into some guys who were selling, refrigerators, but they were getting them from remodels from nicer homes. And that's how my business went from selling $80 fridges to selling, making $80 to making $500-600. And one time only I made $1,000. One time I made $700. And that was it for me. I ain't been hungry since. Of course, I'm not a big spender, but you see this truck I'm sitting in? This baby right here? Leather seats, heated, Bose system. It's a 2007 Chevy Avalanche. You know how I got it? Refrigerator money. I kid you not. When the pandemic hit, I was buying refrigerators. I was buying I was buying the big double door white refrigerators. I was buying them for $70-80, maybe $100, flipping them for $320. It was like I was the local drug dealer. When I would post them, I had white folks from the country, all over. People would drive an hour to come and pick up my refrigerators. And they lived in the country. They lived all over the place. I would stand out here on the corner and just wait for them to pull up. Hey, pull up, boom. I had them stacked on my back porch until these people told me, they said, you can't put your fridges on the back there anymore. So I had to get a storage unit. Then I had to get a bigger storage unit. And this came from refrigerator. I paid for this with refrigerator money. Straight up. Kid you not. And now, people ask me, can I fix them? I don't go around advertising that I can fix your refrigerator. But when people say, hey, can you fix it? I automatically start diagnosing it just, over the internet, or if I'm looking at them face to face. And I start asking them key questions just to narrow down what it would be. And then once I tell them the cost, and your options, I'm like, listen, it would cost me. Okay, it would cost just in labor, because I'd be looking at 2 hours. It would cost you $1.50 for me to come over there and fix it, and I'm not even sure that that's the problem. But you're looking at $1.50 right off rip. That's for me to come over, dig into your fridge. That's right off the rip. Plus your parts. So if you're looking at, like, I just bought a heater coil, but I bought it offline. Some people want the stuff fixed right away. I bought it offline for $28. You want it right away, $75. Just for the part. You see what I mean? You want it right away? Okay, fine. It's going to cost you $75. I'm going to go get it from the store. So you're in $200 real quick. You got to look at what year it is. Sometimes might not be worth it, but if it's under 5 years, do it. Spend that $200, get it cracking. Sometimes I tell people, go ahead and call yourself a tech. I'm not the tech, I'm a sales guy. Call yourself a tech and listen to what the tech says. That tech is going to cost you $100 to come out and tell you exactly what's wrong with your refrigerator. You can call me, I'll come out and fix it. But the tech, it is a fake war. Yeah, that tech is going to tell you exactly what's wrong with it. So sometimes these people in these really nice houses, they'll get a refrigerator. That refrigerator costs them, $2,000 plus. They'll want me to look at it, but they don't want to pay the $200 it's going to cost for me to look at it. I'm like, what do you think? I tell them, listen, call Sears. See how much Sears is going to charge you to come out here. Sears is going to charge you $400 or $500, sometimes $700. And don't let your compressor go out. You can forget it. But yeah, it's a fake war. If you guys want to talk about the war instead of refrigerators, it's a fake war. I just feel like there's so much fakery going around. I mean, your friends are fake. Hell, sometimes your family's fake. The women are fake. The men are fake. You got guys. You got guys who have fake hair now. Like black dudes. Like, we knew white dudes was doing this. Because you got the Donald Trump going on, the toupees. But now you got black guys who are doing it. They got like whole sew-ins for brothers. Like, you can go to the barber and get get right. Except one day, honey might, well, you would hope it would end in 2 months. All right, you want to talk about the war? Let's talk about the war. Let's get this straight. When you look at what all is going over there, for one, I hardly care. I hardly care. The little care that I do care about is, one thing I do care about is the repercussions. I remember yeah. Thank you. I mean, listen, Star, everybody got to make it in this world, Star. Just because you looking all good, don't mean a brother can't get his due done. Just because you look good, Star. Everybody knows Star look good. Star looks like Gladys Knight, you guys. On a midnight train. But anyway, so the war, right? Reason why I'm saying the war is, I need to quit wasting gas. Yeah, but I laugh too. I laugh because you laugh. You know how you start laughing and somebody else was laughing, you be like, what we laughing at? We don't know what we laughing at. I laugh because you laugh, Star. And we come come on me, Star, you know. Star, I laugh because you laugh. You gonna try to blame something on me, Gladys. Gladys. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Anyway, so the war, right? For one, these guys knew it was coming. This is what I don't get, right? Okay, so, all right, so they knew that the war was coming months before the war took place. It was on schedule. This war was on schedule. It was planned. They knew it was going to. I laughed because you were laughing while doing the video. I anticipate your laugh. Don't try to blame it on me, Star. You know you was laughing at folks with the funny hair. You was laughing at dudes. You know you go down to the barbershop every now and then, stand outside, and look at the dude going in who ain't got no hair, and then come out looking like Rick James. You be like, what in the what in the Sanhedrin is going on here? But anyway, so they knew the war was coming, right? Here's what I don't get. Now, I know how hard it is to evacuate a whole country. Millions and millions and millions of people. Right? But here's what I don't get. Here's what I don't get. You know, one of the largest armies and the largest tank army in the world is coming for you. This is not a secret. Putin lined up 100,000 people outside of the rim of your country. You didn't leave. You know that Russians are notorious for their tanks. You know which tanks they are. You fought against them before. You know the damage that they can create and they will create. You know the missiles that they have. You speak the same language. This isn't like somebody came out of nowhere, crossed the water, and then started bombing you. These are your people. You speak their language. Belarus, Poland, all of you guys speak the same language. All of you. Why didn't you leave? You did this whole corruption, this whole thing with the Nazis, the Black Sun patches, those are Nazis. You did the whole thing with the Nazis. You cut off the water that was going into Russia that they needed. You blocked up a dam. You were warned several times by the largest tank army. Listen. Not only do they have more tanks than anyone else, they're your next door neighbors. All they have to do is cross a line and to get to you. That's all they had to do. And not only that, they were not the only ones gunning for you. They weren't. There were Belarusians gunning for you too. Belarus is their ally. So, listen, there were Belarusians gunning for you. You got Chechnyas. Now you got Chechnyans there. Big old white dudes with beards. They're fighting for you, but there's only a small group of them. But nonetheless, you knew it was coming. But you were like, yeah, America's going to help us out. We did. America gave you millions of dollars worth of tank killers. They gave you millions of dollars and tank killers are handheld rockets that you can, when I was in, we used bazookas. You open them up and say backblast area all clear, fire them at the tank, boom. What they got now is in-laws. So it's a whole different animal now. what they have. They also have stingers. Stingers are what you use to fire at, airplanes that are going by. You can knock out the tail of an airplane and land it real quick, blow it up. Uh, but you knew that Russia had the largest tank army, and Russia has one of the largest armies when it comes to the Air Force. They outnumber your Air Force like 5-1. You guys are no match. You're no match for Russia whatsoever. You're no match for them. Why didn't you just leave? And then you're saying, oh, we're fighting for, Kiev. We're fighting for our country. Okay. What will you have left? If you look at what the Russians have done to their country, Russia could pull out right now and just be fine. They made their point. They don't need to take Kiev. They don't need to take it. They want it, but they don't need to. What Russia has done right now is they're lined up 350 miles surrounding Kiev, and they're sitting outside Kiev. They're just sitting there. You know what they're doing? They're bombarding them from a distance. Now, the tanks are too far back to blow up, Kiev. But they have cruise missiles. They got missiles that you can't even track. They're so fast. Plus, they have a cruise missile that actually, if you track it, it has a smaller missile that comes out. So your radar tracks the wrong missile and completely misses it, and then it goes somewhere else. Boom. And they're thinking about using other stronger, heavier bombs just to listen. There's going to be nothing left. There's going to be nothing left of that country when Russia gets done with it. And the more people that go over there and try to fight for them, the more people that resist Russia, the more destruction is going to be. Listen, they're going to take that place and they're going to blow it asunder, and then they're going to roll into it. They're going to roll into it for the people who are left, and they're going to mow them over. There's no competition. And all the stuff that you see that they're saying, they're doing this and this is great, and the ghost of Kiev and all this, that guy didn't shoot down all those planes. He didn't do it. He didn't shoot down. They're lying to you. When you listen to the real specs of what's going on, yeah, Russia's losing a lot. But what's happening is Russia has more people, for one, than you do. They have more of an army. And the people who are coming in to help Russia, they're not even getting full equipment. The Americans that went over there to help them, they're saying, don't come over here. Because once you get here, they won't let you leave. They're saying if you have on gear that you can fight with, they're not letting you cross the border into Poland, not unless you are with the Red Cross. So those guys had to strip down all their gear and then jump in the van with the Red Cross people and put on Red Cross stuff just so they can get in and out of, the country through Poland. Like, it's bad over there. He said they gave us guns and they gave us like 10 bullets. He said it's bad. He said, don't come over here. So all this stuff that they're doing, they're doing it to raise the price of gas, and they're doing it the weapons contractors. That's who's making money off of this. Is big time weapons contractors and warmongers. That's who's doing it. That's why they have all this support by NATO. Because it doesn't mean anything to us. It means absolutely nothing to us. But NATO sees a chance against the largest tank army. They're just like, let's try out our new law. Let's try out our new Stingers. Let's see what our new bazookas can do. And they're getting them from Germany. They're getting them from France, England. This is not just America. Like, the support that these people have is just unreal. And they could have easily told these people. They could have easily told them. They could have said, Get out of there. But that isn't what our president did. He made it seem that they're on the correct mission. He made it seem that, yeah, fight for your country, be American, fight for your country, instead of saying, get out of there. You'll have no place to return to if you don't leave now. Look, Russia sat outside of your country and made it very, very clear. There are 100,000 bodies with armored tanks, even though some of them are a little outdated, are going to pour into your country. There's going to be a lot of damage. I'll tell you what, and those helicopters they were knocking down, those ones aren't outdated. I mean, they're picking these helicopters off. But the problem is now is their president in the Ukraine is asking NATO to clear the skies. This is the beginning of the end. They're saying, we need you to make sure that above Ukraine is a no-fly zone. And they want NATO to do it. And our president said, absolutely not. That's where the buck stops. We cannot give you a no-fly zone over the Ukraine. Because if one of those MiG-29s coming out of Russia, one of those fast-flying MiG-29s, or one of them Su-20s or something like that, get into that fly zone, we know they're in your fly zone because you guys are over there trying to blow up the airports that they have over there. They just blew up one of their makeshift airports over there. So we know their planes are there. If we send our F-35s, F-22s, F-14 Tomcats, F-14 Hornets, if we send any of those planes over there, they know that they're American planes. They know that they're NATO planes. I don't care if they're coming from Israel. If an F-35 enters into that zone, it's lights out. Hey, what's good? I'm hanging in there. I'm sitting in the car talking to y'all in the cold. But if an F-35 enters into that zone, it's lights out. If an F-22 is shot down or shoots down one of them MiG-29s, we are now at world war. And this is why President Biden is like, absolutely not. We're not going to do it. So this war is America. If it wasn't for weapons contracts, we wouldn't even be over there. Like I'm saying, this whole thing is it's a waste of our money. It's a waste of our time. We shouldn't have anything to do with them, but America is in bed with these people because of the shady stuff that America is doing over there. Messing around with, they're doing all kind of stuff I can't even talk about on YouTube. But they're doing shady dealings over there. Shady. So now you're seeing people who are, getting shelled, kids and grandmothers who couldn't leave. They're all bodies being strewn about, and they know it's going to get worse. And you're pulling grandmothers out. Your hair grow back fast. Yeah, I know. There's going to be no world war for this country. Russia is just... Yeah, right. See, they try to make it seem like the Ukraine is doing a super job of... No. It's NATO. Listen, the Ukrainians are fighters. We give them that. But that's not really what's happening there. It's NATO. NATO is the one that has Ukraine still rocking and rolling. That's really what's going on. Because if NATO wasn't involved, they would be hit in the mouth. They'd be hit right... Like Belarus is about to jump in on all that. Like they would be hit straight in the mouth if NATO was just like, we're not going to support you. But this is all warmongering. This is all done by a certain class of people who likes to start these wars and test out all this new stuff. When we got the H bomb, they wanted to test out the H bomb. They went and blew up Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Uh, they even took one bomb and testing it way out in the middle of the ocean and messing up the ocean and whatnot. That F-22 and F-35, $30 million planes. Did you think they wasn't going to try that? I mean, come on now. Yeah, they're going to try that. When they build these things, they're just like, okay, who are we going to try it on? They look for some small skirmish and then they blow all the people up. And then they post it and they try to make us sympathize for people who should have never died. It's just like you guys are the one going around killing all these little look, if they really wanted to test out that equipment, like really test it out, they would have, they would have told Putin, they would have said, listen, you go into Belarus, or not Belarus, but if you go into any country and invade them, we're going to shoot at you. You really want to test something out? Yeah. You test out those hypersonic missiles that'll be flying over New York, because that's exactly what will happen. That's exactly what will happen. And for the record, we can't stop hypersonic missiles. We don't have anything in our arsenal, not even scramjet technology, rail guns. We can't use those. For one, they're super expensive, so we don't use rail guns. We're not using scramjet technology, even though that's the fastest thing that there is. The fastest plane in the sky belongs to Russia. We don't have nothing that can keep up with it. Well, now China has something that can keep up with it. I mean, it's just a major fail. Used to be, yeah, they're the same people. Yeah, they wanted to be independent. What's up? Yeah, they're the same people. I'm like, why are you killing your own people? Yeah, and then you there's no way that Ukraine is going to be, listen, they're not leveling the city. Remember they called it a special operation? Do you know why they're blowing up the mall? They're not even fighting the army. Do you know why they're doing that? Because they don't want nothing to be there. They don't want anything to be in the Ukraine worth. These are old tactics that the Romans did. When Romans when who was it? The Syrians, I think it was. When Romans went and destroyed a city and a country, they burnt the grass. Because anybody who got away and came back, they didn't want you to have anything that was worth anything. And they would do this to several countries. They would go in and destroy the people and then take the people into slavery, and they would use salt and salt all of the lands. I think it was the Persians or something. I don't know, one of those. They would salt all the land so you couldn't use it. That's what Russia's doing right now. This is why Russia is sitting, and they have the circumference of Kiev surrounded, and they're just sitting there. 350 miles worth of equipment just sitting there. Why? Because they've blown up almost all of your cities. They've blown them all up. Look at what they've done. You can't use none of that stuff. It's all rubble. Apartments, all of that, it's all dust. They blew it to pieces. They did that on purpose. Like, y'all gotta wake up and see what's really going on here. Check again. Y'all gotta wake up and really see what's going on here. Listen, they wanted to raise the city, and that's what they did. They wanted to raise the whole country, actually, and that's what they did. You can't use nothing over there now. The deal was for them to be independent, but But as a country now, they want to join NATO. Yeah, they can't join NATO if Russia feels threatened. So before they join, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So who are they really sending the message to? This is what it all boils down to. Who are they really sending a message to? They're sending a message to NATO. Because what happens is NATO wanted to, NATO wants as many countries as they can, of course, especially that surrounding their enemies. Now, if you've been keeping up with other stuff what it has to do with NATO, NATO also told China that you cannot build islands in the South China Sea. They told them that's because the more that they build in the South China Sea, which is their sea, by the way, and they did it anyway, but of course some of those islands are sinking. But they said if you build islands in the South China Sea and put Air Force equipment on there, we know that you can build weapons that can reach and hit, places that are part of NATO. This is why they didn't want them to do it, but China was like, no, we're going to do it anyway. So we're going to have to deal with that too. But these countries don't want us near them. Like, we'll trade with you, we'll help your GDP and all that, but we know that you're really our enemy. Like, this is why the F-35 that went off of, the aircraft carrier landed in the water from a pilot error. They spent weeks and millions of dollars looking for that F-35, and they found it. They found that F-35, got it up out of there. But you know what the real issue was? It was, we don't want China, because that's what they lost it over in China Sea. We don't want China to come out here and look for this F-35. So they had to protect that area so China wouldn't come in, and that's exactly what China wanted to do. They wanted the F-35 so they could look at the specs of the F-35 and then match it up to... Hey, what's going on, Polo? And they wanted to look at the F-35 because the F-35 has something that no other airplane has as good. They have it, but they don't have it as good. The F-35's radar system is better than anyone else's. The F-35 and the F-22, their radar system is better than anyone else's, but this is a 5th generation fighter, and of course they're already talking about 6th generation fighters. I see you. See me running, and I see you running too. Keep it up. Shoot, these knees, I ain't running nowhere. But so that's what they're doing. But thanks, Polo, you the man. But that's what they're doing. This whole thing is for warmongering. And you know how they're getting their money for it? Gas prices. That's what they're doing. They raise the gas prices. So every time you go to the pump, it costs you $4 or $5, in some places $7. It's ridiculous. They take that money, they go build more weapons, and just recycling, and it's over and over and over again. It's the same thing over and over and over again. These wars are fake. They're not even necessary. They didn't even have to do that. But yeah, there's no way that Russia, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you something. I think Russia, Japan, England, France, and every white, even if they're Russian, I think all of them are ran by the same people. I think all of it's planned. I think all of them say, okay, I think they're frenemies. I think that's what I think they are. I think they're frenemies. They're, just forgot about the coronavirus like nothing happened. They did this on purpose. We've been talking about this. You guys should not be surprised. If you follow me, you should not be surprised. Because I've been talking about stuff like this. I told you guys to stack your cupboards over a year ago. I told you guys when I got my cupboard, rice and beans. Go get yourself some pork and beans. I've been telling you guys for this for over 2 years. When I bought that generator, I've been telling you guys, go out, quit messing around, get yourself big bags of rice, big old bags of rice, get yourself some water. You know what I'm saying? Get some rice, get some water, because you can live off of rice and water. You can do the thing off of rice and water. Get some beans, bunch of canned goods, some of the stuff you can get for free. Quit messing around. Go get yourself some rice, some water, some extra toothpaste, some alcohol, some painkillers, over-the-counter painkillers, Tylenol, ibuprofen, Advil. Yeah. Get some of that. I told you, go out and get yourself a good pair of waterproof boots. I got me a good pair. I got a damn good pair of waterproof boots. Get yourself waterproof boots, some winter gear. Yeah, well, everybody's gone. But yeah, so I'm go upstairs and eat my pizza. Everybody left. But yeah, you guys got to get with it, man. They're going to do us wrong. They're going to do us wrong. It's coming. They're coming for us. Okay. I appreciate you. Yeah, they're coming for us. Gas prices, food shortages. Inflation is going to be something. Get food stamps, make sure you re-up on your food stamps. They made that harder. If you get EBT, you get EBT, you gotta quit playing around. You gotta act right. You get food stamps, you get EBT. You better get that EBT. They didn't get that. Listen, they was giving away them food stamps. That extra food they was giving away. Everybody was like, yeah, free food. Nah, homie. You got to pay for everything. Now look. Look at all the people they done cut off. And look at all the people they done cut off. And here's what they did. For the EBT, right? Here's what they did. They said, it's time for you to get your EBT. Re-up, right? Right? Time for you to re-up on your EBT. And you like, say word? Let me re-up on the EBTZ. But they said you can't call in to do it. Or you can't come in to do it. Because the place is not open because of CV. And then you like, well, wait a minute. How am I supposed to do this? They're like, you got to call in. Get your EBT right? So you like, all right. So you calling in, and you on there for an hour and ain't nobody answering the phone. And they tell you, if you don't call in at this time on this day, we're going to go ahead and cancel your food stamps and your Medicare. Well, nobody's answering the phone. So what I'm supposed to do? Hold on a second. My EBT. Y'all playing around. Can't get my EBT. I can't get no EBT. So you can't get no EBT. It's cut off. I don't think that's an accident. Not at all. I don't think that's one bit of an accident. If you try to call in now, you can forget it. You're going to be on there for hours. I talked to one of the people. They were like, yeah, you just got to stay on the line. I was like, y'all not answering. It's like, I know. I was like, can I come in? It's like, nope, can't come in. So guess what's going to happen to all these people now that it's time to re-up to get that EBT? SNAP, food stamps. All those people are SOL. All those children, all cut off. All those baby mamas, all cut off. People on disability, me, cut off. Send me a letter. Cut me right off. And then send me a letter about my Medicare. Say, you have an appointment. Only thing about the Medicare is, they said, what we're going to do with you is, they sent me this letter, so I have to fill out this form, right? Send it in by the 1st. So yeah, I got to go ahead and get this in on, send it out Monday. But here's the kick in the pants. If this doesn't get to them by Monday, boom, that's it. They cut me off. Then they said you can go online and fill out the information. You go online, the website, and that part is shut down. There's like, this will be shut down until the 28th. So you just see how everything is just, how you can get cut off of your resources so fast. It takes no effort for them to say, whatever basic income you had is cut off. And this is why I tell you people, be prepared for that. I don't care what it is. Be prepared for that. I don't care if you're working every day. Be prepared. Be prepared. And I've been going through stuff like this all my life. Jobs would say, no, we don't want you no more. And they would just fire me, just out of nowhere. And of course, I wasn't the only person that this has happened to, but, it'd be like, you're fired. They're like, well, what did I do? They don't owe me an explanation, especially in the, some of the states that you're in. But see, now that you got so many people who are entrepreneurs and so many people that don't want to go back to work, the problem is whenever they cut all of these, like when they cut OnlyFans off, okay, look at Russia, right? Russians are from the oligarchs down to the regular everyday people. I don't care what country you're in. If you're Russian, you are under a sanction right now. So if you like some of the females make a lot of money with OnlyFans, right? You have Russian Americans, especially the females, who are crying because the OnlyFans cut them off. You got to understand, some of these people were making $50,000 a month. These females, 50, 60,000. That Bad Bunny chick made $1 million in one day in like less than 10 minutes. Boom. Another girl did the same thing, like made $1 million. Boom. Just like that. On OnlyFans. It's ridiculous how much money these females make just by showing her body. And men buy this stuff. When I say it's ridiculous, it's ridiculous. But there's another income from it. They're making scores and scores and scores of dollars. They cut that off so quick. They were like, and then OnlyFans was like, we're no longer doing adult content. Boom, they cut that up. They cut those females off so quick, shut them all down. Because they all thought that there was a future in doing this. And anybody would. You'd be like, I'm making 50, 60,000 just showing my ass. Yeah, I'm with it. Nope, it's over with. They shut it all down. Just like that. Like, nope, you're not doing that anymore. Adult content, nope, we're not going to do that. You know why they did that? It's because they had people who were younger than what they said they were on there, and OnlyFans can get sued for that. So they're like, no, we're not doing that. And then trafficking comes into it, and it's a whole deal. And that's why OnlyFans didn't want nothing to do with it, because the vultures came after that. Females are valuable. Regardless of what you believe, you're of value to somebody. And this is one of the things that is actually going over there in the Ukraine. There's some trafficking issues going on over there, the U.S. knows about it. Matter of fact, they're in on it. So, yeah, there's a whole bunch of wickedness going on. But you just see how quick that they can cut you off. They can just cut you off right now. They can cut your money off right now. Whatever you think that you have that you're secure in, they can cut you off right now. Right now. Whatever it is you think you have. And we all think we got it made or safe or something. None of us are safe. The banks don't have you in mind. The banks use you. You're a tool for the banks. That's it. They do not have your best interests in mind. No pun intended. They don't. When you look at Russia right now in their gross domestic product, their GDP, look at what's happening to them because of sanctions. Look at Russian stocks. Look at the banks that they use. If you really dissect what's going on with the sanctions, you really understand how vulnerable you are. Because they sanctioned their banks, right? And when they did the Swiss bank, that's the name of their banks, with one of the largest ones. So they sanctioned that bank, right? So when they do that, of course, the stocks of the bank goes down. Anything that's being bought and sold with that bank's money, because the bank don't hold your money. They take it and then they borrow and they lend it out so they can get a bigger return. And so you're saying, oh, I got $50,000, $20,000 in there. No, you don't. Just the number says that you have $50,000 or $20,000 or whatever. That $50,000 or $20,000 that you put in there has actually been loaned out to Mr. Johnson, who wanted to buy a new home, or Mrs. Davis because she wanted to buy a duplex. So she needed $50,000. They gave her that $50,000. But that's not what you have in the bank. That's only a digital currency. But look how quick that, they sanctioned their banks. And what happened? Everybody in Russia went to their banks and said, and every Russian, so this is all over the world, wherever Russians are, who their main bank is in Russia, they went to their banks and they started taking all the money out. And what happens when you take all the money out of these banks? They can't loan it out. Meaning there's no, boom. So what happens? It crashes the banks. If your currency is digital and people start taking all the money out of the banks, and you still think that you have $20,000, $30,000, $9, and whatever you think you have in there, you no longer have it. That bank is going to crash, and when that bank goes under, there goes your money with it. Even if you're a member of FDIC, you just lost. This is why sanctions are going to hurt a lot worse than what Donald Trump would have done. This thing is far from being over. There's going to be a financial repercussion that's going to sound off around the world like the World Trade Center. Because Swiss Bank is not a small bank, and it's connected to a lot of your big banks. That's what I'm saying. Whatever bank that you're with, you better keep an eye on it. Keep a good eye on it. Like, if I were you, I would use the example of what some of these Russian people have done. They went and they took some of their money out of the bank. Now, of course, they didn't take it all out, because when you go to an ATM, you can't withdraw all your money. And being that those banks are, some of those banks are probably going to close, because of all the money that's coming out of them. You can only take so much money out of a bank. Like, if you had $20 million in a bank, you can't walk up to a bank and take $20 million out. Remember with, what does that do? Young Black, I think his name is, from Memphis, rapper from Memphis. He went and he took out, $200,000. And the lady and the teller called the police on him. And then the police actually confiscated $100,000 of it. First they took all his money, then they only gave him $100,000 back, and then they kept the $100,000. The police, what do they have to do with you banking? He committed no crime. They took his $100,000. Just like that. This is why a lot of these rappers, they like to keep these rappers in court. These lawyers, like the lawyer that set up Chris Brown. It was a lawyer who hired one of these raggedy chicks and went into Chris Brown's house, caused some ruckus, and then turned around and tried to sue Chris Brown. Chris Brown's lawyer actually had that girl do that and try to set Chris Brown up. Because they need to keep you in court so you can keep paying them. That's why all these rappers would get caught with different stuff, gun charges and all this, and just like, this is why a lot of these rich rappers are in and out of jail, is because the police sit and watch them. And when they think they have loads and loads of money on them, they go and they rob these rappers. Then they put them in the court system, then the judge robs you blind, and holds you in there, and then sets your bond at, if they think you're a flight risk, $1 million+. If it's an surety bond, you pay 10% of that. You know what I'm saying? So they could set it at, some ridiculous price. Next thing you know, you're out $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, sometimes $1 million, just on the whole process. Look what happened to Remy Ma when she got, somebody claimed that she did something. She hit somebody in the head. She spent over $100,000 just to prove she was innocent. And she was like, I wish they would have said I was innocent before I spent all that money. That's the way these people work. They're ripping you off. I'm saying everything is fake. These lawyers don't have your best interest in mind. They're not for the people. These judges are not for the people. You see these shows and, the judge is so nice. No. As long as that judge is a judge, that judge is not nice to me. I had to go up against one of my exes. He screwed the girl. The judge, screwed the girl who I was, my ex-girl. And I know he did, because I seen him outside one day. I'm just like, man, he was knocking her boots. Piece of trash of a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's just a mess. But, yeah. These people don't have your interest in mind. They have no love for you. This war is fake as hell. And if I were you, I would carry some money with you. And I would carry things of value. Probably wouldn't hurt to have some gold around if you got some gold. I don't have any gold. I don't know, just start getting things that are worth something, that when the price of the dollar falls, just like the price, okay, so the ruble, I think that's Russian. I think that's what they're using. Okay. Yes, the ruble. The value of the Russian ruble. Oh, wow. Is 0.010. I think everybody left. But yeah, anyway, so. Wow. Anyways, have a good evening, you guys. Thanks for stopping by.